How does your CAC payback period performance compare against your SaaS peers? Well, let's find out in today's edition of SaaS Metrics School. Welcome, Ben Murray here. So CAC payback period is a top SaaS metric for operators and investors. And I implement this for my SaaS clients, teach it in my SaaS Academy. It's a must-have. But of course, it's a must-have when we are investing material amounts in our go-to-market motion. Then we've got to implement this metric plus some other go-to-market efficiency metrics. But in the last episode, I talked about how you adapt the CAC payback period in usage-based environments. And this could even be AI. If your AI usage, we have to adapt that formula, especially if we have subscription plus usage. We can't just use the traditional CAC payback period formula. So make sure you listen to that last episode. But today, all right, we've calculated our CAC payback period. How are we comparing against our SaaS peers in the private SaaS world? So be careful, beware of those aggregate benchmarks that you see on the internet, in social media posts, or people suggesting, hey, if you're performing less than 12 months CAC payback period, you're in great shape. Ignore those, because those are dangerous to your SaaS health. We can't take aggregate SaaS benchmarks and use those for our business, because if we're offering a $50 MRR product versus a $50,000 MRR product, the expectations are much different on the performance of your go-to-market motion. So make sure those aggregate reports are great to read. I love to reading those, but I'm not going to use those reports to benchmark my SaaS clients when I'm creating my 5-pillar SaaS metrics framework for them. And your source of data, I'll put this in the show notes. You can get your custom SaaS metrics benchmarks for free at Ray Reich's website at benchmarkit.ai, and I'll have that in the show notes. All right, so let's talk CAC payback. So I benchmark my clients based on ACV size, so annual contract value. So in Ray's data, he segments less than 1K and then a segment all the way up to greater than 250K, and that's annual ACV. So let's talk top quartile benchmarks. And in Ray's data, you can also look at median and bottom quartile. So it's important to have that context. But again, put your data in and it'll give you back those custom benchmarks at that site. So let's talk top quartile to see how you compare with CAC payback period. So in the segment of less than 1K, so smaller price point, this could be B2B, B2C, or SMB, B2B, we're looking at CAC payback period of 5 months. So that's top performance. In the 1 to 5K range, 6 months. In the 5 to 10K ACV range, 13 months. And you see a pattern here, which makes sense. As that ACV goes up, sales cycles get longer. There's more sales and marketing expense to acquire that new customer. 10 to 25K ACV, 15. 25 to 50, 13. So we're kind of rounding out around 15. 50 to 100K, all right, now we're up to 16. 100 to 250K, 20. And then greater than 250K, 18. So if you could visualize that from bottom left to top right, we have 5 all the way going up to about 20. And that makes sense. As our ACV increases, it takes more investment in go-to-market and sales and marketing to acquire that customer, because those sales cycles are getting longer, among many other variables. Now, again, SaaS metrics, or the benchmark data sets, are only good as the data that goes in. And sometimes you see outliers, but this is what I expect, going from 5 to about 20. And that's top quartile. So you can benchmark your company and see how you're performing against those top quartile SaaS peers out there. And again, I'm doing this by ACV size. Now, one consideration, as you're scaling and you have multiple product lines, we can't just take aggregate CAC payback periods. For example, if you offer an SMB product and an enterprise product, we need separate CACs, we need separate CAC payback periods. That's really important, because those aggregating that data is really just meaningless to our business. So a little bit about CAC payback period performance and those benchmarks. And if you have any questions, or just email me, or if you want me to answer any questions on these episodes, email me at ben@thesascfo.com. Hope you enjoyed the episode today.